So this is going to be a video comparing these two Hewlett-Packard computers. On the left here we have an HP EliteDesk 800G1. This is going to the business I work for. I did a video on these. I got 6 of them, of which there's a bunch right there. And this one here came from my school. This is an HP Compaq 8100 Elite. The 8100 through, or the 8000 really, but especially the 8100 through the 8300 were all the same computer, basically. And after the 8300 came the 800G1. So we're basically looking at 2 generations, this one coming before that one. But see, I'll start with the older one here. At the front here you got a full-sized CD-ROM, space for a floppy. This is tax on it. I have no idea what that meant, or what this computer's purpose was prior to me getting it. Yes, HP power button here was very popular at the time. A lot of HP computers use that. You got 4 USBs, some audio, voice crack there, and the older HP logo. So, then on the back, or I'll compare them after actually. So here's the top of the CD-ROM, pretty standard. The power supply was here, and they put the hard drive under the power supply, and that of course CPU is in the front of the computer versus the back, and very similar case or fan designs. This one actually has a PCI port there. Then this is a PCI Express, another PCI Express, and a ×2, I believe, PCI Express there. Got a couple SATAs there. Your CPU power. I don't know what this is for exactly. And Cmos. Another SATA here going the other way. Yeah, let me undo the bezel here a little bit. Just pick these tabs up. Everything in an HP is labeled green if it can be moved in some form. So we'll pull up on this. Very simple. And the RAM here, it's got HP serial numbers on it. Let me see if I can read their 2 GB sticks. This says 4 gigs of DDR3, I think, RAM. Another point I like to make here with HP is HP CD-ROM, HP power supply. Although they're probably not made by HP, they do have the logo on there, which is something I always like about these computers. Makes them feel more professional. I'm sure even the Seagate drive. Maybe not. I don't see a HP pin on there. So, yeah, everything's very easy to get at with these. So the video card is a AMD. Does this say Radeon? I think it does. Yeah, I don't know the specific model of these, but that's what they use. And these go to a DMS59, but I'll look at the ports on the back in a second. So yeah, now this computer, the EliteDesk 800G1, I think these came out in 2014, and this one was made in, I think, 2015. So must be that G2 is not out yet. G2s look just like these, and then the G3s, which came out a couple years ago, although now there's a G4, they are the redesigned ones. So, same thing, 4 memory DIMM slots. This one has a 4x4 setup instead of a 8x2 like some of the other ones of these. No PCI port, which is a little disappointing. But yeah, that's what you get. So your video card would probably, most likely, you'd put that in the black slot there. So yeah, there's that there. There's a Cmos Reset, I think, right there. I've never. That's a pretty cool added feature. Also a header for 3.0. I haven't actually seen one of them before. Some SATAs in there. Just your regular connectors down in there. So let me take the. Oh yeah, I'll show the front as well. So Hewlett Packard, they started spelling it out on them now, which is I really like that typeface. Looks really good. You get a laptop size CD-ROM, which kind of makes sense at this point. They're not as popular. You don't really need a full-sized one in there. I mean, I guess I'd probably prefer that because that's a more standard design. But these are getting used all over the place now as well. So there's a SD reader spot there. I would imagine that there is not a floppy drive header on this, so I'm sure you could get a floppy drive in here if you really wanted to. Power cable here. This is the same power port button. I mean, and I think my HP EliteDesk monitor uses these as well. Or Elite Display monitor. You get 4 USB ports, 2 audios, nice HP logo there, Core i7. So let's take the bezel off this one. I haven't actually done this yet. A little harder to pull on these than the other one. It doesn't come off. There we go. It's a better built bezel. It's thicker feeling than this one. It's definitely thicker. So there's your spot. I think you could fit a hard drive in there if you wanted to. Your other side of your power. Then your header. So you can actually see a bit of a similarity here if I back up a little bit. In that you got this sort of island, and yeah, this computer is very dusty, but you got this sort of island here, just like on this one. Now, one thing HP's been doing that sort of disappoints me is this bullcrap right here with these stupid hex bits or star bits or whatever they are. You know, why they use them, it's like they're going out of their way to. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, and then the rest of them, it's also star bit, but they give you a spot for a flathead or slotted screwdriver, which sucks as well because you get in sort of a habit of using Phillips. But so yeah, that's the front of this system. So let's flip it around. I'm going to put it on this side so that you can't see the product key, and ankle it like there, and then I gotta flip this one that other way as well. I guess something I didn't point out is that the logo has changed for HP. Obviously, this is the old one. This is, in my opinion, the much better looking new one. And there's another new one now. If you look at their Z books, Z workstations, the Z monitors, and pretty much anything with a Z in it, part of their Z workstation sort of branding. And I think some of the home computers are getting the new logo, which I actually don't mind, although I do really like this one. But yeah, so let's look at the I/O on this. I like this power supply design much better. This sort of L shape here, and now you got this one here. But I think the new Elite Desks use these as well, even up to the modern generation, which is quite nice. You maintain intercompatibility with them. So, but yeah, power supply is a little different. This is in the center instead of on the end there, which is different. Same audio setup. PS2 ports are retained. Serial VGA. You get 2 display ports instead of 1, and then your 2 USBs and your Ethernet are the same. So you're not actually losing any ports from this generation to the next. Going from the HP Compaqs to the EliteDesks. They finally got rid of the Compaq name. They even sold it off to some other company. as well. So for the first time in, I don't know, it's like 15 years maybe, they don't have Compaq in their business line name, which is pretty cool, and they've done a very good job with these systems in my opinion. They're a perfectly fine successor to the older ones. Other than, I think my only complaint would be no PCI slot, although I don't think when I do start using these, when I get one of my own, hopefully at some point, that probably won't really get in my way too much. But it's just too bad that they didn't include that. But yeah, so they said the processor's in the front instead of being in the back, and the RAM is going this way instead of going that way. So, you know, a little bit of difference, but nothing too bad. The power supply, I guess that's something to talk about. The hard drive is up here now instead of being under the power supply, which I don't know if that's really a benefit or not. Hard to tell. I think this one might be a bit of a better design, because I think you push that in or something. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really want to spend like a little bit. I don't want to spend any time trying to figure out how that comes out. I'll just move on to the next thing. So yeah, that is up here instead of being down there, which leaves you with some room in there. I think there might be a SSD mounting thing in there. So yeah, the set's different. The C-ROM is in the same general area, obviously, and this is probably the better design because now you have this bar here, which, well, I think that comes up actually. Let me see about that. There's an arrow here. Oh, it does. Yeah, that might actually be a better design because you got your hard drive and your C-ROM in a very accessible spot instead of, you know, the hard drive being buried down here. So let's see, what do we got under here? Yeah, I think that's an SSD mounting bracket. I don't know what else it would be. Extra Molex here, and then there's a spot here for a, like I said, an SD reader, although I think a hard drive would fit in there as well. Nothing else down there, really. And there's probably better cooling this way. So, I guess I would probably say that the new design is better than this one. But I do like this design because HP had the flip-up power supplies for like ever. Even their Vectras, I think, had that as well. So that's going to be sort of an iconic thing. But they still have this flip-up thing here. So you could buy these with the, I guess I never mentioned this. That's a DMS59 port. You connect a DMS59 cable to that, which I've shown in my previous videos. I'm quite fond of that design. So you could put one of them in one of these, of course, and they did ship them with them if you wanted to. But this was the G2, which came after this, was the last model that came with video cards. I think they stopped making the cards themselves, maybe, or I know HP stopped making the Molex, or not the Molex, the cables themselves. A couple years ago, they disappeared off their website. So, oh, I guess one more thing I can sort of complain about here. Something with, I don't really understand. So, you do get a PCI here, then you get a times 16 PCI Express, another times 16 PCI Express, and then they give you a times 2, which in this makes sense, this design, because you got, there's stuff in the way, so you get one of them. Now this one here, they take away the PCI, and then they give you 2 of them, times 2s, so, you know, it would have been nice to get, like, all X16s, or, you know, or PCI would have been nice as well, but that's my only complaint with these, is the lacking of that. I can't think of anything else. I guess, the bits. This wouldn't be too big of a deal right here, where they gave you a slotted connector power supply also features that, and the motherboard screws. So what you would generally have to take apart has a flathead. They even gave you a flathead on there, since you'd have to have one anyway to get the rest of it apart. But they did use them up here, which would be a big pain if you were to take that out, which you probably won't, but still. So yeah, those are my 2 complaints with this, and I have no complaints with this system. But on the new HPs, I'll just add this sort of in, they decided that, here they give you these faceplates, right? On the new systems, 2 of these, or maybe all of them, I think it's just 2 though, are just knockouts. So when you or a company knocks them out, you put a card in there, and then they take that card out. Say when they retire the system, you got a hole there, and although you would have that anyway, because they most likely don't keep these, still you have a hole that you couldn't fill, or they couldn't fill. So yeah, that is kind of a pain, and a very cheap path to go down, and why exactly they do that I don't really understand. I think on the small form factor, they do give you two of the faceplates, which is good, because if you get multiple systems missing cards, then you could sacrifice a few of the systems and take all of the covers off of them. So, but yeah, I think they do at least give you some of them, and the same thing with the tower. And the last complaint that I would have with the newer systems is the tower versions do not come with a full-size power supply. They come with this size power supply. So if you want to buy one of them and upgrade it into a good gaming computer, at the moment I don't think anybody makes this size that goes up into a appropriate amount of wattage. I don't know how much watts these are, and I don't really want to like waste time just looking for that on a camera. But yeah, that's my complaints with the newer systems. It's kind of a sad thing to be going on, but with the desktop market as it is, I guess that just sort of makes sense. But well, so yeah, that was a comparison of these 2 systems. But yeah, Compaq is gone. The naming finally makes sense to get rid of them, especially since a lot of the Compaq styling is gone. I think these were the last things to include any Compaq sort of design features, but maybe I'll do a video on that at some point when I get like a Desk Pro, or yeah, something like that, and a Vectra. I do want a Vectra VO420 at some point. But yeah, thanks for watching.